Alright, what's up? Welcome to today's video where we are going to be making a bouquet from scratch. Here we go. Look it. Those are our flowers. Now first off we have our tulips. We're gonna go with purple tulips, followed by some white carnations and some small little yellow roses. Now these are the three flowers we're using, and then we also got a solid little bouquet wrap to hold everything together. Now we're gonna do this from scratch, which means it's gonna take a little while. Now the first step, we're gonna grab our purple tulips and we're just gonna peel these really big leaves off of all of them. See, you wanna take off the big ones, really don't need them. You can leave the small ones. I think it adds just a little bit of greenery to the top of the bouquet. It'll really help it look pretty in the long run. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's a tough call. I say, you leave it until you get down to the end, and then, if you really feel like it, you can take it off. Sometimes they don't have any leaves that are pretty enough to leave on, so it will be a little naked, but honestly there are enough flowers in this bouquet to where that shouldn't really be a problem. And if you look close enough at these flowers, you can tell that most of the tulips are actually pretty closed, and that's because they have to bloom, right? So you get them when they're small like this, just so that they can live longer, because if you get them when they're already opened up, that just means they're closer to dying and it won't last as long. You don't want that. You want something that's gonna last a while, okay? And honestly, it's only gonna get prettier from here, all right? I say all that to say that when you're picking your tulips, pick them when they're small. All right, these are the last of the tulips. We're just gonna rush through these a little quickly, get these out of the way, right? And then after you get rid of all the excess leaves, it should be looking something like this. You see how it's a lot less green, flowers pop a lot more. That is really what you're looking for here. It all just comes down to personal preference, how much greenery you want. Now these will be mixed, the yellow small little roses, along with these white carnations. There's definitely gonna be more color added. This probably is not gonna be anywhere near what the final product is gonna look like. This is just after getting all of those leaves done. Now you're also gonna wanna trim these because these are extremely long. You don't need all of this, right? This needs to go. And then of course, when you're cutting your flowers, you want to cut it diagonally, right? So that they can soak up more water once they get put inside a vase. But yeah, this is how it looks so far. I think it's much better. All right, our next step is to clean up these yellow roses. You want to remove the wrapping, and then all of these extra flowers gotta go. Let's just get rid of all of these extra little flowers here. It just makes it look messy, right? What does that mean? Another montage. Now, of course, these are a lot different than the tulips. You see how they've got a few little stems here? You kind of want to leave those. They kind of add to the look. This is what it looks like when you take off all the excess flowers. Leaves a lot prettier. This by itself, she'd love it. Bam! This is what it looks like when it's all done. You see how pretty it is? It's all cleaned up. You have all your beautiful flowers. It looks 10,000 times better. Okay, trust me on this. Now, of course, this also needs trimming, but that's towards the end, right? That's a little later on. Look at this so far. Absolutely love these roses. So cute. And the size, it fits perfectly into this bouquet because normally you would have roses as your centerpiece, but of course the purple tulips are the centerpiece. And so then you get much smaller roses, and they're very nice complementary, right? Very pretty. And before we get to our final flower, I just wanted to remind you guys to stop the video, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way. This is a new kind of video, so maybe there'll be more like it. Maybe there won't be. Who knows? But look at this view. Stop, smell the roses, and just admire the nature, right? Very, very pretty. But yeah. All right, now let's get back to cleaning up these flowers. Now the next step is these white carnations. You see them, you love them, I do too. That's basically how I pick them, If I see a flower and I really love it and I think it's gonna complement the centerpiece, I'll go out and I'll get it. Oh my gosh, they put like 30 pieces of tape on this. Absolutely insane. It's okay, we dealt with it. Now, I'll be honest, when you're making your own bouquet, best friend, scissors. Scissors 1000%. Gonna be your bestest friend. All right, now with the carnations, there's not as much to clean up, but you know, that doesn't mean you can't clean up anything. These little flowers, they have little flowers. So yeah, we'll take those off and then we'll make them a little more simplified. Let's do that. Insane. These two don't even have carnations. What the hell? It is what it is. Okay, now we don't have very many carnations, but honestly, it's just kind of complimentary. They should fill it in pretty nicely. So that along with the yellow roses should work phenomenally. And then if we stop and we take a look at the counter, it looks like an absolute flower massacre. I mean, look at all these leaves. So many leaves. It's insane. All right, but that means that all of our flowers are ready to go. Check this out. Do you see the vision? Do you see the vision? Because I do. This is gonna be so freaking beautiful. I had to go to class, but before I left, I made sure to put these guys in a little container, add some water. Now the next step is going to be cutting them up and then arranging them. Now it's clear as day that these flowers are way too long for this bouquet, which means that we need to do some trimming. Now how this is gonna work is we're gonna fold the bouquet, then we're gonna measure the flowers, and then we'll cut them. It's actually pretty freaking easy. All right, so you're gonna cut off about 2-3 inches, and then it should be good. Boom, it is now much shorter and it's actually gonna fit. Oh yeah, I need to shrink a shit ton. Look at how much it's gotta go. It's insane. Perfect. Look at that, amazing. Bam. All right, now comes the hardest part, which is the layering. We're gonna start with the base of tulip, and then we're gonna layer on the carnations, the roses, then tulips, then carnations and roses. Is it all a pattern the whole time. All right, first layer done. Now on to the second layer. I'm gonna mix it up a bit. And the first attempt is done. I absolutely hate this, so let's redo it. And after about an hour of arranging these flowers, this is what I got. Yes, the worst bouquet imaginable. Now, this is it for the video. Okay, these flowers could be a million times better, and they will be, but I gotta catch a train. So catch y'all later. Much love. Bye-bye. All right, now forget everything I said at the end of that video. Look, the truth is they came out pretty decent, but the reason it felt so short at the end was because I spent hours trying to get the bouquet right. And honestly, it's hard as shit. I was wrong. I thought that was gonna be the easy part. Hell no. I tried layering it. It looked ugly. Then I tried using ChatGPT to tell me how to do it. Guess what? ChatGPT don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Honestly, it was really freaking hard. But you know what? We're done with it. It came out great. I'm happy that I did it, and I'm happy to give you this tutorial. But yes, the reason that the ending felt so rushed was because I had to cut a lot out. Hell, I didn't even record a lot of it because it was failure after failure after failure. You don't want to watch that. You want to see the process, you want to see the end product, and that's what you got here. All right, it's a pretty decent bouquet, I won't lie. Now the flowers are looking kind of dim. I'm about to drop them off. The thing about these flowers is that they haven't seen water for a few hours at this point, but like I said, I had to travel on train, so you know it takes some time. The train takes some time, but we're gonna get these guys water. They're gonna brighten up real fast and it'll be fantastic. But anyway, thank you for watching my tutorial. I'll catch y'all later. Much love. I love you, Isabel. Deuces.